join us this evening from wherever you are. We are calling this evening In the Spirit of Miriam, an evening of freedom, wisdom, and song. And we invite you to tune out everything else that's around you. Get comfortable. Perhaps put your cell phone on mute for the time that we're together.
Yes.
Definitely keep yourself on mute and try your best to be present. Get comfortable. Take a deep breath. And this evening, we want you to imagine that you are the biblical Miriam. And if you are Miriam, that means that you are an essential member of your family and your community. You are brave. You are rebellious. You are a prophet, a leader, a dancer, and a singer. And in your lifetime, you will bring a miraculously replenishing source of life to your people. In your lifetime, you will do more than most people do in multiple lifetimes. As Kohelet writes, there is a time for being born and a time for dying, a time for planting and a time for uprooting the planted, a time for slaying and a time for healing, a time for tearing down and a time for building up, a time for weeping and a time for laughing, a time for wailing and a time for dancing, a time for throwing stones and a time for gathering stones, a time for hugging and a time for shunning hugs, a time for seeking and a time for losing, a time for keeping and a time for discarding, a time for ripping and a time for sewing, a time for silence and a time for speaking, a time for loving and a time for hating, a time for war and a time for peace. You, Miriam, you will experience it all. From chapter 1 of Shmot, the book of Exodus, through chapter 20 of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, you will do more in one lifetime than most will ever do. I turn it over to my dear friend, Cantor Magda Fishman.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a
Oh, that was beautiful. In the book of Exodus, we read, Vayomer melech Mitzrayim lameyaldot ha'ivriot. The king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shifra and the other Pua, saying, when you deliver the Hebrew women, look at the birth stool. If it is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live. Vatirena hameyaldot eta Elohim v'lo asu ka'asher diber alehen melech Mitzrayim. The midwives, fearing God, did not do as the king of Egypt had told them. They let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and said to them, Madua asiten hadavar hazeh? Why have you done this thing, letting the boys leave? The midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are strong. In the Talmud, our sages teach us that Shifra and Pua were a mother and daughter team. Rashi teaches that Pua was Miriam, and she bore this initial name because she used to call aloud and speak and croon to her baby brother, just as women do who soothe a child when a child is crying. Pua has the meaning of crying aloud, as we learn from the book of Isaiah chapter 2, I will cry, F-eh, like a working woman. While Miriam and her mother saved so many children, it was difficult living under Pharaoh. Life was a challenge. The children of Israel were slaves.
And we encourage you to write in the chat, what would you like to be freed from? Especially this year and moving towards Passover and speaking about Miriam and the fears of being under Pharaoh. And I was imagining today of all the fears of being under Pharaoh's leadership and then running away, being chased. I was thinking today about being chased and then this moment that you're free. How does it feel to be free? So I encourage you to write in the chat what would you want to be free from, and how can you make it possible day by day to be freed in a situation that we're pretty much not with a Pharaoh, but there is a big cloud above us all that actually are closing us, and in some ways, and I hear many people say, I need to find a way to free my soul, to free myself or my body, or to move, or anything that will help you free yourself. So think about that. And freedom, I actually chose some spiritual for the next elections. And I learned it while I was working in the Yiddish theater and working on a program called Soul to Soul about African American and Yiddish and Jews, and how much we have in common and how much the world has right now in common, and how we all want to be free. Oh, freedom. shine, let it shine, let it shine. Mi chamocha ba'elim, Adonai, Adonai.
That was beautiful. Oh, this is so wonderful to be doing this together. How many of us thought that last year's form of Pesach would be a one-time experience? Once again, in 2 weeks' time, our Seder tables will not be full. But this is temporary. Life is not as we expect it to be right now. When life gets it down, when life gets us down, we can borrow a technique from our ancestors and we can talk to God. God can always hear. When the children of Israel crossed the Sea of Reeds, these words were included in their great song that they sang to God. I'll put the words in the chat and the Cantor will sing them with us. Please, at home, sing along.
עוזי וזמרתיה ויהי לי לישועה. עוזי וזמרתיה ויהי לי לישועה.
Miriam had hope in the future. In the Torah, we read in the beginning of Exodus 2, the second chapter of Exodus, that there was a man of the house of Levi, the house of Levi, and he took to wife a daughter of Levi. Who are these people? Where did this man go? Our sages in the Talmud, in a tractate called Sota, they teach that this man was actually Amram, Miriam's father, and he went to seek counsel from his brilliant daughter Miriam. When Amram had heard that Pharaoh had decreed, every son that is born shall be cast into the river, he arose and he divorced his wife. In fact, all of the Israelites arose and divorced their wives. But his daughter Miriam said to him, "Father, your decree is harsher than Pharaoh's, because Pharaoh decreed only against the males, whereas you have decreed against both the little baby boys and the baby girls. Pharaoh only decreed concerning this world, whereas you have decreed concerning this world and the world to come. And so Amram arose, and he took his wife back, and they all arose, and they all took their wives back. Miriam had hope for a future.
And we encourage you to write in the chat the hopes and dreams that you have for the future. And you can be more talkative, it's okay. The chat is there for you to communicate because you're all muted. And there is a certain vibe to the chat if you share as a community that brings some life. But if you're not comfortable, it's okay. But I will share with you my hopes and dreams for the future. My first one is that we're all I hope that we're all going to be healthy and joining together in person, and that life, Ashivenu elecha v'nashuva b'tchadesh yameinu kekedem, renew our days as old as before, is one of my dreams right now, and all the things that bothered me in the past seems right now like a piece of cake. So my hope is to be in person with all of you healthy in the future. And the next nigun that we chose together, and I chose, and we chose, it was so great to work with you on this process. Like, we met many times, and it's so great to collaborate.
Oh, I've been loving this.
Yeah, this is great. So we chose the Krakower nigun, written by Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, and it's a bit heavy when you think about the story behind it, that Rabbi Carlebach sat in Auschwitz, and he heard the spirits asking for where's Jerusalem and what's the way to Jerusalem, and it's not easy to think about Auschwitz. It's also not easy to think about slavery, and it's not easy to think about many things that are heavy. But as Jews, and as any other nations that has been through a lot, we hope and we know that there is a light out there, and we can all dance together at the end of the light. And actually, I was thinking about, sorry, Rabbi, I'm speaking, but it just comes up now. My grandfather is a Holocaust survivor, and he was saved by playing music, by playing the accordion. He was actually pulled out from a line to entertain the Nazis, and this is how he was saved. And he met my grandmother by going to find an accordion to entertain, and she opened the door for him, and he said that was it. So he went there to find an accordion, and he found his wife. But the next nigun, I would love for you to join us. It is starting with a lot of heartfelt and deepness and sadness, and growing into, out of sadness and fear can come also joy and dance in some point. Please join us. to sing it with me? Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, yada, dai, 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 dai. Ay, 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 ay. Yai, ay, 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 ay. Yai, yada, dai, dai, dai. Ay, ay, dai, ay, 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 dai. Dai, dai, ay, dai, dai. Ay, ay, dai, ay, 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 ay. Yai, dai, dai, ay, dai, dai. Yai, dai, da, 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 da. Yai, dai, da, dai, dai. Yai, yai, dai, da, dai, dai. Yai, dai, dai, da, dai, dai, dai. Ay, ay, ya, da, dai, dai. Ay, ay, da, dai, 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 ay. Yai, ya, dai, dai. Dai, 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 da, dai, dai, dai. Ya, dai, ya, da, dai. Ay, 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 dai, ya, dai, dai, dai. Ay, 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 dai, 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 dai. Ay, dai, dai, ay, 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 ya, da, dai, dai, dai. Ay, ay, dai, 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 da, dai, dai, dai. Ay, ya, da, da, dai. Ay, 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 da, dai, dai. Ay, ay, dai, da, dai, dai. Ay, dai, da, dai, dai, dai. Ya, da, 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 dai, ay. Ay, dai, da, dai, dai. Ay, ay, dai, da, dai, dai. Ay, dai, da, dai, dai, dai. Ya, da, 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 dai. Ah, da, dai, ay, dai, da, 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 dai. Ay, da, 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 dai, dai, ay, dai, da, 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 dai. Ay, da, 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 dai, ay, da, 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 dai. Ay, da, 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 dai, ay, da, 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 dai. Ay, ya, da, da, dai. Ay, 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 ay. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, dai, yai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, ay, ya, dai, dai. Yai, ya, dai, dai.
Shkoyach. One thing is certain. Miriam, the biblical Miriam, she was a unifier. In the first moments of freedom, in freedom from bondage and the plagues and the extreme suffering in Egypt, Miriam inspired the Israelites to dance. After Moses led the men in song, Miriam led the women in song and dance. We read in the Torah, "Vatikach Miriam haneviah achot Aharon et hatof beyada, vatetzena kol hanashim achareha batupim ubimecholot." Then Miriam, the prophet, the prophetess, Aaron's sister, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her and danced with their tambourines and with their timbrels. And then we read, "Vatan lahem Miriam," and Miriam chanted for them, "Shiru lashem ki ga'o ga'a sus v'rachvo ramavayam." Miriam chanted, "Sing to the Lord, for God has triumphed. God has triumphed gloriously. Horse and driver were hurled into the sea." Now you might wonder, why of all things did Miriam have a tambourine or a timbrel with her? It's a good question. What would you take when you were leaving Egypt? A tambourine? A book of Midrash called the Mechilta asks and answers that same question. This is from the Mechilta. "A timbrel in her hand. How and why did the Israelites have timbrels for dancing in the wilderness?" Their answer: it is because the righteous trusted in God, and they knew that God would perform miracles and mighty acts when they would go forth from Egypt. And so they prepared themselves. They prepared themselves, the timbrels, and they prepared the dancing.
So I realize you're not writing much in the chat, so I'll just invite you to think about what makes you dance, what prompts you to dance. And nowadays, when we're all in front of this computer and Zoom, I found many chances to dance and move. And I took some actually courses that were not dance courses, and the instructor actually got us to get up and dance. And the feeling that we forgot of dancing is an extraordinary feeling, even if you just move your hands or legs or body or like head or anything. Our bodies are so closed nowadays and so into the computer. And every Shabbat, like every Friday night, I do a train dance in my home with my family. And it's fun, so try it. But now I cannot play and dance, so someone will have to get up and instruct everyone to dance. But first, we're going to take the little nigun that I created from Shirat Hayam. You know this moment when you hear on the bima, Ashir al Adonai, ki ga'oga, סוס מרוכבו רמה והים. And the beauty that of the nigun is that you can take any words and just nai with your soul and heart without thinking about it, just focusing on your kavanah and thinking of the moment that you're in. So think about this moment that they're singing and they feel free. And they're not scared to be chased.
While her brothers, Moses and Aaron, were leaders, so too was Miriam. Our sages teach us in the Tosefta, a different source, thousands of years old, that Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda said that when Israel came out of Egypt, there were 3 good leaders that were appointed for them. And these were Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. And because of their merit, 3 gifts were given to Israel: the well with water, the pillar of cloud, and the manna. And the well of water, well, that was because of the merit of Miriam.
So this is the point that we're dancing, and I'm going to encourage all of you to dance. You know the song, I hope you dance, I hope you dance. But the first song I would demonstrate for you if you were near me. I love it. It's called Mayim. Lots of water from the well. And if you know the Israeli dance, it goes, Shaftem mayim besason mimaynei Yeshua. Shaftem mayim besason mimaynei Yeshua. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim. Now 4 jumps. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Shaftem mayim besason. So my hands were functioning like your legs would. So I have all the screens in front of me, and I want to see you all dance, because you are in the 100 chosen ones to be on this Zoom. So let's do this.
Right, there's 100 who couldn't get in, so you are the chosen ones.
Yes, you're representing all the dancers. And Shafte. Oh, this is low for me. Ooh, sorry. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Shaftem mayim besason mimaynei Yeshua. Shaftem mayim besason mimaynei Yeshua. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Shaftem mayim besason. Shaftem mayim besason. Mimaynei Yeshua. Shaftem mayim besason. Mimaynei Yeshua. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Shaftem mayim besason. Shaftem mayim besason. Mimaynei Yeshua. Shaftem mayim besason. Mimaynei Yeshua. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Hey, mayim besason. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 mayim besason. Mayim, 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 mayim. Shaftem mayim besason. And you're not off the hook. So the next song, beautiful song by Debbie Friedman, describes the women and their timbrels. Do you have a timbrel next to you? I have one. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. So I want you all to imagine you're following Miriam as she sang her song. Ready for that? Okay. Women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one who sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances towards the light. Oh, 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 and the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. And Miriam stood upon the shore and gazed across the sea. The wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought that sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march through the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Oh, 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 and the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Oh, 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 and the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. You know, when we look back at famous dancers in history, we might think of Baryshnikov or Martha Graham or Fred and Ginger or Karen Kane, but none of them held a candle to Miriam. If there's other dancers you can think of, add them to the chat, but those were the ones that came to our mind, and we added Karen Kane for our Canadian content. Miriam was a model of strength and resilience. She was a free spirit, and she had confidence, and she had hope, and she had sacred and holy chutzpah. And she believed in God. So before we leave, we still have a few more songs, don't worry. We want to offer you words from the book of Tehillim, from Psalms, that capture so many aspects of Miriam's life. Elecha Adonai ekra, ve'el Adonai etchanan, Shma Adonai v'choneni, Adonai heye ozer li. I called to you, God. I made appeal. Hear, God, and be gracious to me. O God, be a help to me. Hafachta mizbedi lemacholi, pitachta saki v'ta'azreni simcha, lema'an yezamercha chavod v'lo yidom, Adonai Elohai leolam odeka. You have turned my mourning into dance. You have loosened my mourning clothing, and you have filled me with joy, so that my soul sings to you and not be silent, God. Forever shall I praise you.
So I would love to start with the nigun, but I would love to teach it to you if you don't know it. Yai, 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 yai. Your turn. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, nai. Let's join together. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, nai, from the beginning. Yai, nai, nai, nai. 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 Yai, yai, yai. That's the first part. Second, yai, nai, yai, yai. Yai, yai, nai, nai. Let's try together. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Repeat. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, yai, yai. Yai, nai, yai, yai. Yana, yana, idai. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, yai, dai. Elecha Adonai ekra. Elecha Hashem ekra. Ve'el Hashem etchanan. I will call to you, God, and I will beg for you and to you. Yai, nai, nai, nai. yada yada idai, yada ida ida idai, yada idai. Please hear my prayer, God. Shema Hashem v'choleini Hashem ehyeh ozer li yada 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 Hashem ekra ve'el Hashem etchanan.
So we planned a Jewish goodbye. It's going to take us a while to conclude. But I don't want anyone to get anxious, but Pesach is in 2 weeks. So in many ways, this is a pre-Pesach event. And there are so many lessons and values and morals that we can learn from the Haggadah. Whichever Haggadah you use, it's the right one for you to use. The words near the beginning, right before the 4 questions, are always relevant at every time. And every year, they hit us a little differently. And those words are halach ma'anya, di achalu avatana, be'arad Mitzrayim. This is the bread of affliction that our ancestors ate in the land of Egypt. Kol dichvin yete ve'echol. Let all who are hungry come and eat. Kol ditzrich yete ve'yifsach. Anyone who is in need should come and partake of Pesach, the Passover sacrifice. Hashta hacha, now we are here. L'shana haba'a ba'arad Israel. Next year, God willing, in the land of Israel. Hashtav de l'shana haba'a b'nei chorin. This year we are slaves. Next year, please God, let us be free people. Let's do one Pesach favorite.
I know our 2 communities are always there to care and feed others, and so I think this is a great way to end our program. Halachma, halachmanya, די אכלו אבטנה בהרה דמצרים, בהרה דמצרים, כל דכפין יתה ויכול, כל דצריך יתה ויפסח, השטחה לשנה הבאה בהרה דישראל, השטח די לשנה הבאה בנות ובני חורין, הלחמה עניה די אכלו אבטנה בהרה דמצרים, בהרה דמצרים, כל דכפין יתה ויכול, כל דצריך יתה ויפסח, השטחה לשנה הבאה בהרה בישראל, השטח די לשנה הבאה בני ובנות חורין.
There is a lovely bond between our two shuls, between our two communities. Tomorrow, you can catch Rabbi Steinhardt and Reb Steve in conversation for Reb Steve's Coffee Over Conversation, continuing the trend of working together. I would love to spend a week or two in Boca next winter. Please, any of you from B'nai Torah. I have a family of 3. We're pretty small. My daughter's cute. But that's for tomorrow. But we have together some longer term dreams, and they're really simple. Next year in person, next year together, and words that we have been saying for so long that this year we really mean them. Next year, my friends, in Jerusalem. Thank you to everyone who helped us with the technology. We really have no idea what happened. I don't know. I guess you guys are the lucky ones that are here. We apologize for whatever happened. I'm sure we'll find out later. But let's just enjoy this final song. Please get up and sing with us. And we've had the best time. Cantor, Magda, Fishman. Mwah.
Thank you, Rabbi. It was so much fun to collaborate with you and to share this time with you and with everyone in our two communities and all over Facebook, apparently. So please join us. Leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana Leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba b'Yerushalayim. Leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba. הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה, לשנה הבאה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה. ינאי נא 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 ינאי נא 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 היי נא 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 ינאי נאי נאי היי נא 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 ינאי נא 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 היי נא 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 היי 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 ינאי נאי היי 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 יאי 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 ינאי נאי 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 לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים
Chag Sameach. Have a wonderful, healthy Pesach, everyone. This has been lovely spending this time with you.